There we go. I should be on this one now. Alrighty. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible afternoon. She says, I got my handy dandy notebook ready. Woohoo! Always. Should always have some sort of notebook ready to take some notes down when you are watching The Professor. I have no idea what's going on with my camera. They're acting crazy today, so no video. So that's why we're going to do pretty much silhouette. Keep the questions related to that because I can only do screen share right now. All right. Hopefully I can get it fixed and do like a regular face-to-face or face-to-camera Q&A for you guys if you have like general questions about just different things. But if you guys have silhouette questions, it'll be best to post those. That way, it keeps, keeps the party going as far as like visually because you'll see the silhouette screen. Okay. Hold on one moment. All right. I was just doing a tumbler. I had to turn the oven off. I just remembered that I left it on. Okay. And I grabbed a granola bar while I was in there. All right, let's see. What are we looking like over here? All right, if I can get you guys to give the video a thumbs up, like the video if you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment, let me know where you are watching from. That will greatly help the live broadcast because this is a live, not pre-recorded. So we want to try and get as many people on as possible so that we can help as many people as possible on this live broadcast. It is just a general Q&A for beginners and beyond. So if you have any questions about how to do something in Silhouette Studio, feel free to go ahead and drop those questions. Just trying to help you guys get a little bit of a better understanding, maybe things that you're getting caught up on. If you want to know if there's certain things that you can or what you can or cannot do in Silhouette Studio, drop those questions. All right, I'm trying to actually open it, pull this back over in here, okay. Why can't I find your tape? Kids always mess with my stuff. Meaning you can't find it on our website or you can't find it in your house. I'm at work listening from my phone with my AirPods in. Shh, okay, I won't tell on you. In your room. Well, got to find that. That's the good tape. We don't leave yellow marks with our tape. Okay, so let's come over here. Oh, wait, I was trying to, I needed to share this out. So give me one moment. Let me go ahead and hit share. All right, I'm just sharing out the video. So just continue to like the video. Don't go anywhere. This is a live broadcast. If you're watching the playback of this, you are going to experience some silence. I'm just sharing it out. You'll be able to, once you see the thumbnail is gone, you'll be able to jump forward to where you don't see the thumbnail. And that's when, we're going to officially get started. Okay. All right. So let's share again. I got to just share this to my groups. You can go ahead and drop your questions if you're watching this live. If you're watching the playback, feel free to also drop questions. I go back oftentimes and still answer the questions. So if you're watching the playback, still post questions. But if you're watching it live and you want it answered live, go ahead, drop your questions. I try my best not to miss anyone. So don't worry about waiting until I get started. I do scroll through and look for any questions that I missed. Okay. All right, just going in and sharing to one more place. All right. And then let's go and almost guys. I'm actually doing the at everyone. Yes, I am. So I'm doing that in the groups. Right? Because some people don't get the notifications when I go live. So I want to make sure that if you have a question, you have an opportunity to post your question. So I'm just going through and adding everyone in the group. All right. Oh no, what just happened? Okay. All right. I have no idea why that keeps doing that. All right, officially all shared out, did all of my apps and everything else. So let's get into it. All right. So, hello everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are a full service company that will provide you not only the best sublimation paper and ink that you can get. That will allow you to sublimate at 365 degrees, 30 seconds. It's absolutely amazing. The results are amazing, and it's a more efficient way of doing sublimation. So check out our website, shop.hsink365.com. As you can see from the banner that should be coming up about now, we do have an overstock sale going on the 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 paper, as well as Formula B. For your EcoTank printers, it is 25% off. It's automatically applied at checkout. You won't see the difference when you go directly to the listing. It will be at checkout. You will see those the price difference. Okay. And that is for a limited time while the overstock supply lasts, or until the end of the month, whichever comes first. All right. Also on our website, you can sign up for classes. So you're going to learn a little bit about Silhouette Studio in this live, based off of questions that you guys have and others have. But if you really want to really learn Silhouette Studio, I highly recommend visiting the website and signing up first, or at least enrolling in the 30-day training. This right here, Essentials of Silhouette Studio, you'll see the breakdown of it. We go through pretty much every single part of Silhouette Studio and breaking down all the tools, functions, what their basic uses are. And then it'll make it a lot easier when you get into design classes or just really understanding what it is that you're doing as you're putting your designs together. All right. Yes, we do have the chips for the 7840 and 7840, 7820, 7310. Yes, we do have those on the site. They are not a part of the overstock, but we do have them on the site. So when you go on the main page, if you click on the thumbnail for those particular printers, you're going to scroll down, and if you click there, there are only full sets. I'm guessing, I'm not sure why. I know we have some. I'll just check. I'll check with even, but it seems like right now it's just showing the full sets, not individuals. But yes, we do have them. Okay. All right. Again, this is a Q&A, guys. Q&A. I am here to help. I know this program like nobody else. I promise you that. And it's not too many things that you cannot do in the software, not too many things that I have not done in the software, to where I can pretty much answer like your questions as far as designing. So definitely take advantage of the fact that you have me on right now, giving you a free, basically like lesson based off of your questions. This live is going to be as educational as you guys are interactive. If you guys don't ask any questions, then you're not going to get anything from it. There's no sense in you guys suffering in silence. If you know that you are having difficulties using the program, no question is a silly question. You don't know what you don't know. I do my best to try and help you guys figure out the software and make it to where you can design efficiently, or you can just resize, things like that. So definitely post your questions. All right. Man, oh man. All right, so let me go through and say hello to a few people while you guys post your questions. So hello. Thank you guys for joining me live. Thank you for joining the live. Hello, welcome in. Hello. Thank you guys once again. Incredible afternoon. Did my first print and cut yesterday. Still need more practice. Which part do you need practice on? What part kind of gave you the most issues? And maybe we can help you figure that out on this live broadcast. Ooh, excuse me. Hey, just say, hey, Dawn, how are you? Facebook user, hello. Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you? How are you? Thank you for joining the live broadcast. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, tag a friend, share, hit that share button. All right, so let's see. We have a question here. Hello, I haven't used my Cameo 3 in a minute. What updates should I be on? 4.5. So I personally don't care for the 4.5. It just doesn't work for me. I was having issues like with PDFs. You don't have to. You guys do not have to do any of the updates. I still operate from version 4.3.370. All right, let's see. Let's just go here. So I still use 4.3.370 on my desktop. I do have 4.4 on my husband's Mac, but I'm never on there. And on my laptop, I still use version 3.6. 3.6 is still my all-time favorite version. But if you go to software, get software, learn more, you can go to the legacy versions and you can download 4.3 3.370. Like I said, they do, of course, have the, let's see, are there any beta versions? So they have quite a few beta versions that are out. And if there's that many betas, that means that there's still a lot of bugs. So I personally am not using 4.5. I also don't have a Pro. You only really have to worry about 4.4 or 4.5 if you are utilizing the Pro and cutting from the Pro. Other than that, stay down. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't have inbox me if you have something where it's still taking funds out, because we don't have any active subscriptions right now. All of them should have been done unless you signed up for a program and you signed up like towards, but even now, like, I mean, it should not be. So email me, because you should not still be charged for, we don't have any active subscriptions right now. Do you have a video exclusively for rhinestones within the 30-day training? Yes, we do. There is a day for rhinestones, like the basics of it. I don't really do a lot of like rhinestones. I have done a video on rhinestones. I forget when that was, but there is a day dedicated to rhinestones within the program. So I'm not sure if you have gotten there yet, but day 23 is rhinestones. The point editing. So for your print, what did you have to do for your print and cut with the, so that, okay, hold on. Let's back up. Point editing is technically not something when it comes to print and cut, right? So getting print and cut down is one thing. Understanding edit points is another. So if you want to make sure that you have a good understanding of edit points, I would not mess around with anything else, not trying to subtract or crop or deal with edit points. Get something, probably maybe do like a regular trace and detach, and then send it to print and then cut. But if you go and you don't get an understanding of print and cut, and your hang up is due to a function that is not directly related to it, then it's going to seem frustrating. It's going to end up being frustrating. So work on understanding edit points by itself for print and cut, and making sure that it registers, making sure that you have a good cut. Keep it very simple when it comes to that. Okay. Let's see. How do you not cut part of a transparent image? Had a sub image, small detail, didn't want to cut because too small. I do eco solvent. So you're saying a sub image, but then also eco solvent. So I'm not sure, because I don't understand you, because you said I had a sub image, small detail, but then eco solvent. So is it that it's just a PNG or a JPEG print and you're trying to figure out how to not cut those? I have a question, but may not be for this live. I would like to know why you prefer the ratchet blade over the auto blade. Asking because I'm so close to buying a Cameo 4. Because it just cuts weird. One, I can't stand that tapping. Like, that's first and foremost. I cannot stand that tapping. I don't like the fact that if I go in to cut something, the exact same settings, all I'm doing is like just doing like another cut. Let's say I'm doing a whole bunch of the same print or the same cut. It's going to tap every single time. That's just dumb. I can't stand all that tapping. Two, it's not accurate. Silhouette even went through to where one of their updates was to update the settings because of the auto blade. It's like when it goes into auto mode, it cuts totally different than when you have it on ratchet. I'm not sure why it does that, but the cut settings are way, 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 way off when you are using the auto blade. Oh, I'm not sure why. Let me see. Let's see what am I getting? Hold on. Let me refresh this. Oh, it looks pretty clear on my end. I mean, you're not going to see all the details like right here, But I mean, right now I'm seeing it as being pretty clear. It may be yours. Is it blurry for anyone else? Good to know because I have the Pro. Hello, upgrades on sale. Okay, well, I don't really get anything from there. So if it's on designbundles.net, hey, definitely go over there and holler at them because I have an affiliate link for that one. Silhouette doesn't have anything. So although I like the program, hey, if you're gonna upgrade, please make it go through my link as a way to say thank you for me helping you guys freely with learning this software. Okay, so a PNG. So that's different because you said a sub image. I was like, okay, wait, what are we doing? So it's basically, all right, if you're using the version where it does an automatic trace. So if it's a PNG, it will end up, like I said, it will end up doing an automatic trace if you're using 4.4, 4.5, if you have not turned that feature off, which means it might expose some of like the little pieces. Best thing to do would be to either release compound path and then weld so that those pieces go away, or to use your edit points to delete those points for those small details. I don't know like exactly which image you are using, so it's going to be kind of hard. All I can do is just try and find something that has some detail to it. Let's just say goodness, someone give me something to search. I'm going to try and see if I can find a picture that maybe have some details to it, and I can show you how, like, yeah, something like that is a specific question. I really would need to kind of see, or just to have an idea of the type of image to bring in. I can trace it. I would end up doing a regular trace on it because I don't use version 4.4. I can't stand the auto trace either. But that's just personal preference for me. We don't have any 13-inch rolls. We don't have any rolls in stock right now. We're not sure when exactly, but we're not giving an estimated time because we don't know when they'll be here. Right now they are on holiday. They're not back until the 30th. I don't think it got on the ship before they left, so it probably won't get on the ship until after February. So I cannot say when they will be back in stock. Is it best to use for continuous prints? I mean, you can only print up to 47 inches. So that's up to you. I'm not sure what you mean by continuous prints. Like if you're doing a bunch of the same design, I mean, you can use that. Not if it's for a shirt, because it is tacky paper. It's not fast dry, but you can print up to 47 inches long. I picked the Cameo 4 because that is what you use yourself. I know you don't like the Cameo Pro. Am I correct? Yes, that is correct. I am not a fan of the Pro. The regular one, the 12-inch or the plus, the 15-inch are okay. The Pro just has, for some people, they're like, hey, it's the only one I know. I think it's great. Some people love it, but just in my experience with helping others with it, it's just not worth it. And because I have other large format cutters, I mean, I would want 24 inches to be an efficient cut. And Silhouette in general has its issues. And so because of the type of blade and motor on there, it's just not going to give you efficiency. And that's based off of knowing how commercial cutters work and having them. So for me, from a using commercial and professional use standpoint, the 24-inch just doesn't stack up. To me, it's just not worth it. All right, guys, continue to post your questions. I'm still waiting on a suggestion of something to Google so that I can show you the tracing and removing those edit points. Under the replicate menu, when you click on custom position, that is due to the version that you are using. So if you're using one of, it was a glitch in one of the 4.4 versions. I think I mentioned that when you posted it in the group. So yeah, due to the version that you are using, it was something that was left out. And I believe like if you read like the notes, whatever version you were on, go to legacy. Look at the next version above that, like above that number, and it probably will have the notes that was corrected. But yes, that is a glitch in version 4, one of the 4.4 versions. All right. So Ms. Dawn said Valentine's Day. It looks like, let's see how this particular image is. On my pros. Okay, there we go. All right, that picture is blurry. Let's see, is this one blurry? All right, let's see. Copy image and paste. All right, so it's not a true PNG. It has all this other stuff on it, but that's okay because we can just trace and detach it. So we're going to go over here to trace, select trace area, place my box. And we're going to increase our threshold up to here. And I'm going to purposely do a trace and crop only so that I can show you like moving those edit points. So I'm going to trace and I'm just going to select this and I'm going to crop. All right. So I have this now to where technically the hearts in here are cut out. So let's say I end up cutting out too much and I want to bring those back. So we're just going to click on one and I'm just going to hit delete point. And that's going to delete all the points in there and I'm going to see the white. Let me put this and send it to the back. So you see how you can see the pink in between those. So if you didn't want that, or if you want something that you don't want to cut, you're going to take your edit points and you're going to delete point. So if you want to select multiples, hold down Shift, drag and select, hit delete point. So any little details that you don't want. So like in here, there's a lot of little places, right? So I'm going to release compound path on this. I'm going to select only what's right here. And I'm just going to weld. Now that becomes solid and I don't have all those little pieces. Now everywhere else where there are pieces that I want to be removed, I'm going to select it and then go make compound path so that they are cut out. But again, if I did not want it to cut inside this ribbon, just hit delete point and those are gone away and it's not going to cut in that area. It only cuts where there are edit points. Okay. Yes, you have. We have done it in class. So yes, you have. We have done that in class. You may not remember the lesson, but we've done that specifically in classes. You just maybe not have done it on your own projects. All right. That was my issue, trying to remove the points so certain things wouldn't cut out. Oh yeah. So I mean, you can just click on it and just hit delete point and it will go. So if you're trying to always drag and select, you may not, like there are going to be some areas that are just super, super small. So you just click on it and then you just hit delete point. Or like I said, if you have certain sections, like I did all those. Okay. So let's say right here, we can't get into it. Like I said, you can always release compound path, drag and select, weld just that part so that that becomes solid, and then make a compound path again so that all the other areas do cut out. You guys do not have to wait for me to answer a question before you post your question. The more questions that are in the queue, the smoother the transition goes, and we don't have any quiet time. This is not a class. This is to help you guys. So whatever questions you have, post them. We've done a lot of designing. So my next set of classes, other than Photoshop, is going to be a lot more on using the machines and more like business type things. Because last year we did a lot of designing. Yes, that often happens where you guys make it entirely too complicated. That's why it's great to understand all of the tools and what your options are. And it's something that's definitely going to take time. There are things that I did, and I watch back videos, like when you guys go and like a video or comment on the video. I typically tend to kind of sit and watch it some, also to kind of see where your question is coming from. And there are things that I did, when I was like first, I would say first learning a tool, but things that I did, and it was like, man, I was doing it kind of a harder way. And then there's like slowly as you're going through designs and the more you're actually using it, you just develop different strategies and tips and you develop your own style of doing things. And I've discovered ways to do things much faster. So definitely don't beat yourself up over that, because it's going to happen. And sometimes when you do it the complicated way, it just really helps you understand that tool or function that much more. You just welded the heart, but it doesn't look like it welded as a whole on the screen. How do you know if it's truly welded? So what I didn't weld the heart to anything. What I welded was the small pieces. So if I undo the same way I did on here. Like when I first traced it, there were a lot of like little pieces in here. So you see how right there you can see the yellow through here and here. So now when I release compound path, all those areas are now their own separate shape. So you see there's a small box. Well, you probably can't see it. Hold on. There's a small box right here. There's a small box right there. So if I put this here, you don't see the yellow in there. It's white. So that I don't have two separate pieces, because that will technically still cut. I'm going to just duplicate this real quick. If I were to go to send, I said send, that would still cut because that shape is still there. But if we take, I didn't separate them, so let's do like this. Okay. I don't know why I duplicated it anyway. So you're going to see here, that's going to cut. But now if I select it and will it give me the option to weld? No, it won't. Go back to design. Another thing I don't like about version 4, you can't do functions when you're in send. 3.6, I can still do all the functions while I'm in the send window. Love that about 3.6 or version 3 in general. So I have that selected and I go weld. Those boxes go away because I have welded that to that. And so now it's just one. When I go to send now, I don't have cut lines in that area. So the way part of how weld works in Cricut is different from Silhouette. Weld in Cricut Design Space, if you like, it'll make it to where it moves together when you go to the next page, like it'll keep it together. That's not really what weld does. Weld should only work if things are connected, like if they're overlapping. And in that sense, they both work the same. But if you have two separate items and you weld them in Silhouette Studio, it's not going to do anything. Only thing that will happen is like if it's two different elements, they'll become like one color. Or even if it's like a shape or not a shape, like a pattern or a picture or something like that. So let's say I go here, I'm just going to put a pattern there. Actually, no, let's go like this and I'll just put a pattern in there. So if I select this and I go weld, they're still not connected, but the color changed, but they're still individual. Same thing with this. Like if I go here and I hit weld, they all just took on this pattern. But if it's like this and you weld, it becomes one. Okay, awesome. Thank you for tagging a friend who may have a question. I'm an open book, guys. So if you're here right now, I know some of you guys might be working and you're just listening in. So for those who are not able to type, those of you guys who can type out questions, help out your fellow creatives and type a question. I am here to help. I only do these once a week now. Like I said, you can join my class. We have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of classes available on the site. You probably missed the sale that we had. We just took a bunch of them off. Like they are gone forever as far as purchase. But if you have purchased those classes, you have unlimited access to it, for the life of that particular site, as long as our host site does not go belly up. Hey, they will be there for you. But there's also a secondary way, for you to watch your videos. So you really, really do have unlimited access to watch those playbacks. But we have, I didn't realize I went into my Amazon. So here we have the class, like this is one of the newer ones where I taught you guys how to take someone's face off of a picture and properly size it and know like which angles to use for certain pictures and how to identify those things. So that was the face switch up. So that is a newer one that focuses, like I said, on taking the face off of like a picture. For parties and things like that, parents sometimes just want their kids to look like Spider-Man or Black Panther and things like that. So that's a really good one. We had a 10-day designing crash course. So many different things. And it really was about like learning about different design techniques and tips and tricks and how to look at designs differently, how to approach them differently. We did have quite a few people who ended up posting in the student union, like what they learned. Like every day they would go and they would try it and they would show their rendition of it. So it really is, especially once you know those tools, it's amazing. You'll be able to follow along and understand it. And it's, like I said, 10 days, 10 different techniques that will pretty much help you with anything. Like if you can only take, I would say, 2 classes, the creative designing crash course and the 30-day training is definitely where you want, is a class that you want to enroll in. Okay. If you're into Photoshop, this one we did, it was a lot in there. With the way that particular class was, it was still a lot. Like it's intro, but how I am with classes, we did dive into a lot of different things. And I realized, sometimes, for those who are able to watch it live, wanting to be able to break it down with me. So I think when I do my next Photoshop one, I'm going to end up kind of going through it and then having a session at the end if you want to kind of go through it step by step to make sure that you understand it. I do recommend having a second screen, though. You will not be able to keep up if you don't have a second screen. Custom text effects, learning how to do that to make different things for your designs. I can't wait until after tonight. I can show you, like fully show you guys the posters and other things that I did. Although I think I did show a little bit of it. I think I did. Nope, I did. The other day when I was showing Silhouette versus Photoshop, you got to see a little bit of text effects in that one. But this one will break it down. There's so many different ways to do text effects, and that's all in there. If you're into party favors, again, helping you unlock your creativity, how to design and set up, and how to repurpose elements. Again, that's another thing I cannot wait to show you guys after today and they get their posters, because I'll show you how you just maximize your order, because I created all these elements for the poster, but then I was able to put those, for their custom bow, for the sash, even for a tumbler with the same elements. So the coaches got the posters and the sashes and the bows. And then my hopes is, when they have their game tonight, that I'll be able to upsell that and, get those sales from the parents and say, hey, you guys can get this in a tumbler as well to celebrate your senior. I already have it set up. So it'll just be print, press, and go. But that's when you learn how to rearrange and how to change up elements for different templates. So the face-off one also, if you get the 10-day crash designing, it basically is included, like not saying included for free, but you get to take this one for free. Just make sure that you add both of them to your cart. And this one will show up as $0 as long as you buy it at the same time. So if you got this one and you forgot, or you got this one and then you come back for this one, you're not going to get refunded for this. So you have to buy them at the same time, and this will be free. This will stay up, but your counterparts aren't asking very many questions. So I'm not sure how helpful this is going to be to you guys if they're not asking questions. But my live videos stay up. That's what I said. This will be as helpful as you guys are interactive. If you don't seek the help or ask the questions, when you have someone who is an industry expert and they're saying, hey, pick my brain, what do you need help with? And if you guys are sitting back being shy, you're afraid, you think it's a dumb question or things like that, then you're only hurting yourself. Because forget everybody else that's on here. Imagine that it's a conversation with just you and I am here to help you. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to think about your question. Get the help that you need so that you can be, so that you don't have to struggle with little things. It's like, even if you just learn one new thing, it's going to help you in your creative endeavor or your entrepreneurship endeavor when it comes to designing and getting better with designing faster so you can move on to the next job and be able to keep the money flowing. Okay. The 10-day class is $113.35. So that is an amazing deal for once you divide that by 10 days. So that was originally taught over the course of 10 days. So it's 10 days of different design techniques. How do you merge flower borders? So Silhouette Studio is not like Photoshop where you can merge layers, right? So if you have something and let's say, okay, all right, let's see. I'm trying to find, all right, let's see. Copy image and paste. Okay, so that's a true PNG. Okay, ooh, let's do this one. This might be a true PNG, but that's okay. So we're going to copy image and paste. Okay, good. It's not a true PNG. All right, so I'm going to trace these out. So let's go over here to trace, select trace area, place our box, increase our threshold, and ooh, too much. Trace and detach. All right. So let's say we're doing something like this, right? Okay. Well, one, we got to go back in and we're going to just group all of these together. All right. So let's say I wanted to, I'm going to say repeat this. Okay, wait, let's do it like this. I'm going to shrink it down and I'm going to mirror it below. So if I wanted to weld these together to create a full-on border here, right? If you select these and simply hit weld, it's going to change the dynamic of it because you can't, like, it's just like how we did up here. When you welded it, it's going to take on all of those like properties and stuff like that. It's not connected. So if it was a picture, it's going to look all funky. If you are used to welding in Cricut and like to keep things together, in Silhouette Studio, it's simply just grouping it together. If you have one part of something that overlaps, so we're going to ungroup, I'm going to pull this up here. It's not like Photoshop where you are merging. Merging and welding are two different things. So you would merge it to where this now becomes basically one big PNG in Photoshop. Silhouette Studio, you cannot do that. If you hit weld, it is going to weld it as if it is one piece. And that essentially is the equivalent. I'm going to show you what that is the equivalent of. I'm going to take all of this. I'm going to move it like this, and I'm going to go weld. You see what's showing here? So when even though I don't have the background, when I go to weld, this part right here is what's in this section. So it's seeing it like this and basically just cropping it down. So you cannot merge in Silhouette Studio the same way that you would merge layers in Photoshop. All you can do is group it together, and they're still going to be individual elements. If you need to learn Silhouette Studio, don't hesitate on the 30-day of Silhouette. It is the best out there. You will be amazed how great this course is. Oh, thank you. You are welcome. So yeah, just group it together. I'm going to undo. And just group. And it will move as one. And you can still, like, let's mirror it to the other side. So you're creating this full-on frame. And I'm actually going to group these two sides together. So they're grouped in sets of two, and then I'm going to group them to where it becomes like one. so that I can take the outside and the hearts and I can center it to make sure that it's perfectly centered. All right, thank you guys. I'm going to just reset real quick. Thank you guys so much for joining me live. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. We are the home of the amazing Honestly Speaking brand. We carry sublimation paper that allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. You don't need any butcher paper on top. You get amazing colors. Just simply printing with plain paper setting because we have a high release paper, so you don't have to print with premium matte to get, great saturation of colors on your sublimation substrates. So it's going to save you a lot of money on ink as well, especially if you have those workforce printers where you have to change out the chips. You want to be as efficient as possible when you are using those printers. So our chips, our cartridges, our ink, our paper is going to make that last a lot longer for you. I've gotten about between 150 and 180 prints out of one single set of cartridges or chips. So if you are using those printers, definitely want to consider the Honestly Speaking family of paper and ink. Our blacks are like no other. Okay. And then, of course, we have 365 Creative Academy, where I help you to unlock your creativity. That is where our classes are hosted. So any class that you get from here, as you can see, it says 365 Creative Academy. So you don't get a link when you purchase it. You don't get like a Zoom link. What you'll get, if you already have taken a class, it's going to automatically show up on your dashboard. If it's your first time enrolling in any one of our classes, you want to look for the email that's going to say express sign in. That's how you'll complete your password and all of that good jazz. And then you'll see your classes on your dashboards, and that's how you'll access them. Okay. And then, of course, we have my free content that you guys can always learn from. We have 7 years of YouTube videos under Silaholics Anonymous, as well as Honestly Speaking. Silaholics Anonymous is your go-to for all things silhouette. I actually just had someone, she watched our print and cut. I did pretty much a 3-hour video during Silaholics Anonymous month 2 years ago. And I did a full, the videos from that month are absolutely amazing because they're like mini classes. And you still have access to those. So 7 years of silhouette content and learning and, quick help, quick tips, full on demos, full walkthroughs on there. And then Honestly Speaking, we have full demos of sublimation, regular print and cuts, chip bags, stickers, stuff with the roll-in. So that's kind of your all creative thing on those channels. So definitely check us out. Right here, it has our Linktree. If you click on that on our website, it'll take you here, and you can just find the section that you need to get to the information that you need on here. So definitely check out that if you want to just know where those links are. Always save our Linktree so that it'll just be easy for you to access it. All right. We are still answering questions. This is a live Q&A. It's to help beginners and beyond. If you are wanting to use Silhouette Studio for sublimation, if you have questions about I'm waiting for you guys. I'm not going to give you any information that you don't ask. I know probably some of those burning questions, especially if you're, just using Silhouette Studio for sublimation, just to size and reprint. I know what some of those questions are, but I'm going to need you to go and step out on faith that your girl can answer it and post those questions. I want to see the information that you guys need. I want to see your questions, okay? So the best way to search for something that I have done is to type in the keywords Silaholics Anonymous and then whatever your keyword is, so that you can get our videos first. And it's going to show you some other things, but you'll get our videos first. Or if you're on your computer, you can go to the channel and go to the search bar and only search our channel. But from your phone or any mobile device, you cannot do that. Can you still use Cricut to do sublimation? I know the program only so far. Well, this is not about Cricut. Um, you can use any program for sublimation, guys. With sublimation, it's just about printing, right? So any program that you can open up a file in, you can, which is why some people like to use Word. I have no idea why people are using Word for graphic designing and for printing stuff out like that, because Word is not free. Silhouette Studio is absolutely free, 99. So Cricut Design Space, you are limited in size. You can only print up to 6.75 by 9.25. You're very limited. You cannot do a full tumbler from Cricut Design Space because of the size restrictions. Silhouette Studio does not have that. It's just like printing from Photoshop or Illustrator, Affinity. You are not limited in the size that you can print. It's not a, how can I say, it's not a feature. Like in Cricut Design Space, print and cut is like a feature. So you have to flatten your design to tell it that you want it to be print and cut. And once you flatten it, it automatically restricts it to that size and it controls your registration marks. You can simply print from Silhouette Studio and never have to turn on the registration marks. It is, like I said, just like any other graphic designing software. So let's see if we go. I'm going to pick something randomly out of my library. Since you guys aren't really suggested anything over there, I'm just going to pick something random. Let's go. Oh, I still have yet to bring my stuff back in here. I'm not going to have a lot of stuff on this one. Yeah. Because although you see color here, if you open it, it's usually just plain. It doesn't have color already assigned to it. Oh, shoot. I didn't want that on there. Shoot. I don't want any of them to see it before tonight. I'm not going to say that it's the best to use. Is it a great software to get into to learn how to design and do different things? Yes. Best is relative to what you want to be able to do. It is a vector-based program. So there are things that you can do like in Photoshop, like blend modes and being able to fade off edges. You cannot do that in Silhouette Studio the same way that you cannot do that in Illustrator. I mean, you can kind of use the gradient one to go from black to no color, but it's still not really like fading it off like it is in Photoshop. You don't have, like I said, the blend modes, but just changing hue and saturation, you can do that. You can type out text, you can add certain text effects, you can resize it. And to me, and which is why I teach it so much, I'm not sponsored by Silhouette America in any way, shape, or form. I've never spoken to that particular company, but for the people within the creative space, or as you guys like to call yourselves, crafters, within that space, and if you're trying to get the ball rolling on making profit from the things that you create, it is a great place to start. I don't use exclusively Silhouette Studio. So I do things in Photoshop. I've used Illustrator for certain things. I have to go to Illustrator with my Roland BN20. So just depending on what it is that you're wanting to do, it is a great place to start. Some people don't really like using Silhouette Studio if you have gosh, color issues because the colors are not as accurate when you go to Photoshop and things like that, as far as selecting colors from here. And if you use their color palette, it is way off. So it's little things like that where, it gets a bad rep from some people, but just designing and just using it and just resizing, you can't beat it. I know, like, when people design in Canva, right? I don't believe you can print directly from Canva. I use Canva for website and social media posts. I don't use it to create designs for printing. I did like a little test, and when I did my test, I was like, I don't know what they're talking about, because my sizing comes out great once you like put the size in. So you can go like and design in Canva and then bring it over to Silhouette Studio to resize it. Some people will also do that from Cricut Design Space, whether they take a screenshot of it. I don't recommend that because you're not going to have a high quality resolution. You're not going to have a high quality result when you do anything from Cricut Design Space, whether you take a screenshot and, paste it in Silhouette Studio and resize it. If you download it as a PNG, a PDF, like if you have like the PDF creator, it still has some distortion. And then there is this thing to where people say, oh, well, you can get the file. Once you go, it's like it's a certain place where your workspace or your design page is saved. You can go to that. It's like a PNG or something like that. The quality is still not that great. It's better to just do it in Silhouette Studio. If you're going to come to Silhouette Studio to print, you might as well just design it in Silhouette Studio as well. Maybe the only benefit for some in using Cricut Design Space first to design would be the fact that you can open up SVGs for free with Cricut Design Space. Whereas with Silhouette Studio, you do have to have Designer Edition or above in order to open up SVG files. And that's because you can do so much without an SVG file in Silhouette Studio. If you want the convenience and the ease of opening up an SVG, they charge you because anyone can download this software for free and you can do so much in it. I can't show the one that I had there, but let me see about opening up and you guys can see like the level of some of the things that I've done in Cricut Design Space. In Cricut Design Space, in Silhouette Studio. What if I buy a design from a site and it allows you to download it for you to print it off? Will any program be good for those? Yes, and I highly recommend using Silhouette Studio because it allows you just to resize. So I'm going to see if this will open. It should be opening up. And like this is something where it's a lot of elements that I got from, I want to say those came from Design Bundle. I don't know if it's Design Bundles or Creative Fabrica. But bringing in a bunch of different elements, arranging them, adding the name and stuff to it. And this one is for the tumbler, but I had a matching blanket for this as well. So it allows you to set up custom things like this. You don't have to know how to create a watercolor lion, giraffe, elephant. All you have to do is know where to source these elements from, and then you're going to pull them into your design. Each one of these is a separate element, and it's just about how you arrange it, how you can see here the green is not at the top, which means I rotated this because of how the angle that I wanted it at. I'm able to use like fade bars and different things like that to create this to create that gradient look to it. This is just a ruler. So you can see there's the ruler part, and then the lines came from just a box being behind it. You have your text. There's ways to add pictures to certain parts of it. So you're able to do all of this right in Silhouette Studio just by bringing in different PNGs, JPEGs, doing things like tracing. If it is, whether it's a PNG or a JPEG, you want to trace it unless you have automatic PNG trace turned on. So you'll do all of this. So let's say you purchase this file from a site, right? All you have to do is resize it. So right now, I don't know why this is like so off. I'm going to shrink this down 9.35. You can also use the ones up here. I don't know why this is, let me see, 9.35 by, should be 8.125 or 8.1.15 is what I normally do. I don't know why this is a little bit off, but you can just resize it. Let's see. File open. I don't know where the last time I got a, let's go to the folders for Creative Fabrica downloads. Let's see. Halloween clip art. I have no idea what this one is. Okay, bats, ghost. No, I don't want that one. Oh, see, there was a cute jungle animal, leaf frame. Rainbow tie-dye letters. Okay, let's do, I think I showed this one before. So we're just going to go to the H. And so like, this is humongous, right? This is a perfect example of why you want to learn how to trace, because this has a lot of negative space around it. I'm going to make a duplicate. I'm going to come over here to trace, select trace area. We're going to place our box. I'm going to take it up just a little bit, make sure all of my edges, like see right here, there's no yellow on the edge. So I'm going to just take my threshold up a little bit more, making sure I have yellow around all of the edges, and we're going to go trace and detach. So the different, and now there's this box here. It's, you can click on it still, it's transparent, but you can click on it so where you can move this out of the way. Well, I'm just going to delete it. So the difference is if I click here, it says that this H, quote unquote, is 12 by 12. That just means that when someone was designing this, their design page was 12 by 12, and they saved this as a PNG from that page. It wasn't, their design page wasn't made to the exact size of the H. However, the actual H, once you trace it down, it is only 6.63 by 10.291. So with something like this, if you were trying to size it up, and let's say you did want it to be 12 by 12, and you go to print it out, you're like, wait, I sized this to 12 by 12. Why did it come out only 10 inches? It's because you did not trace and detach. If you don't want to trace and detach, I'm going to make my design page 12 by 12. And as you can see from there, well, we're going to take our machine to none because we're not using any machine. You can take this. I'm going to put a random number in here. So, because I always forget what the final number is, but you can create a design up to 196 inches long. It's going to bog down Silhouette Studio, but you technically can't. I've designed 6-foot banners and posters in like right here in Silhouette Studio. So I'm just going to go 12 by 12, and I would have to make this fit down to the 12 inches. I can never make this 12 by 12. I can make it 12 inches in height, or I can make it 12 inches wide, but then my height would be significantly larger. So 12 by 12 in width would make that way bigger than 12 inches high. Now, if you try to stretch it to that 12 by 12, you are going to distort it. So if I go like this and I pull it out, I am stretching it out of its original proportions. And that's what I try to teach as far as designing, learning the tools and things like that. And someone says, okay, yeah, you'll just resize it. So someone said, well, like I see that all the time in groups. Well, how do I change the size of something? Somebody will say things like, oh, you're going to click on it and you're going to go to the top where it says width and height. And you're just going to put in 12 by 12. But then they don't know how it was set up. The fact that you have all these extra things. And so you end up coming back into the group and saying, this didn't work. Like it's still messed up. I've wasted so much vinyl. I've wasted so much ink. I've wasted this. I've wasted that because it's not the right size. Most times it's because you're not giving a true, like you're not asking the question properly. You're not posting pictures for people to see what it is that you're working on. And give you proper direction, because they're not wrong in telling you all you have to do is come up here and size it. But if you have all of this extra around it, once you go to size it, it's not going to be the right size. So like with this one, if I go in and I put, I'm going to make a duplicate of this and I go 12 by 12, see, that is distorted. Can you repeat the 2 classes that has to be purchased together to get one free? Sure. It is the designing crash course. And so if you click here, I need to take that part off. So it says free superhero face switch up class with enrollment. Must wait. Oh, that was supposed to be a whole period. Must add both to your cart. So this one right here, if we add this to the cart and we add this one to the cart, it's free. $23.65. That one becomes free. If I take this off, you got to pay for it. But this right here, I'm telling you, this is one of the best things that you can ever do for yourself is invest in that class, the 30-day training. It will break down every single tool. They're not done as projects. I have worksheets for each, like I say, like some of them have worksheets, some don't, because it's what's inside the software already. But for the most part, there are worksheets. And as long as you follow the worksheets to get an understanding, it is the 30-day training is not teaching you to design in Silhouette Studio. The 30-day training is the foundation of how to learn to design. If you go to college right now for graphic designing, they're not going to just take you to where you're doing designs. You're going to go through fundamentals, understanding the tools of each of those softwares before you ever get to design anything. And that is what Silhouette Studio is. So you cannot go into it thinking that it is a design and you're going to walk away from it with this completed design. Although there are some people who did, which I was so proud of. By the time we got to like day 20 something, they had worked on like full on design, full on Encanto designs. And it was just amazing to see the growth, like when we were actually in that class live. I will tell you now, this will never happen again. So if you are hesitant about taking the class and you're like, well, I'm just going to wait for the next time. This was taxing. We did this class for 30 days straight. 30 days, Saturdays, Sundays, 30 days straight. I will never do that again. Oh my gosh. Never, ever, ever will I do that again. So if I was to ever teach Silhouette Studio in this way, know that it will probably end up being a 2 to 3 month course, because it's only going to be like a few days out of the week each week. So it's going to take much longer. Man, that was dedication, 30 days straight. So if you're looking to experience that live, I'm telling you, it will never happen again. Now we will have different programs and kind of where you can learn from the beginning. But if you're going to skip out on those classes anyway, you might as well get the one for 8365 and learn from the playbacks. When we do the new ones, I mean, of course, you're going to get the most out of it when you can attend and you can ask live and you can follow along. Some of the classes that we're going to have coming up, because people are at different levels, I'm giving you fair warning. I don't do pre-recorded to where I just show it and you can follow it yourself. You can do that once the live classes are over with. You can go back and watch the playbacks of it. But for these next classes that are coming up, they are going to be hands-on to an extent. Like, we're not going to sit there and, spend forever in a day, but there will be, it's going to be kind of a, hey, do it along with me so that you can get understanding. You can ask your questions. So it's going to be some extended sessions, which is why it's going to go over several weeks. But if you're looking to learn Zelle Studio and learn the tools, this is what I'm going to keep promoting, keep pushing, keep promoting. I'm not doing this again. So don't ever look for that particular class to ever be live again. That's your foundation. It's set up amazingly. Nothing has changed majorly with Silhouette Studio, so there's no reason for me to ever do that live until they make major changes. What will be like, newer live classes is designing, taking what you have learned from here and then implementing it and applying it to how you create designs. All right. Man, I said all that. I just knew you guys would have questions. Well, I'm going to go ahead. If there are no questions, no additional questions, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. Don't want to keep you guys, too long. If you don't need anything else from me, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. Hold on. Wait, I'm getting an inbox. I don't know why. Why not ask this on the live? Oh my gosh. Okay. Guys, I'm telling you, you don't have to inbox me questions. Like, no one's judging you here, okay? That's funny. Hold on. No, me personally, I don't care if they do like my inbox. Like, I mean, luckily I saw it pop up, but I get so many people trying to inbox me because they see me being very helpful. But at the same time, guys, I do run a business, so I may not always be able to answer your inbox messages. And then sometimes your questions can help someone else. So it is best for you to post them in the public groups, because sometimes I'm just not able to. But I saw this one come in, so we're going to address this one again. And I mean, I guess I can see why. It's the whole white area, and still not kind of like fully understanding the white area. And it just so happens that there is some white area on this one. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something else that might have another, like a bigger white space. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, this one's kind of interesting. All right, so let's go copy image and we're going to go paste. All right. All right, let's go through this. So we're going to start with tracing and detaching. So select trace area. You're going to place your box. You're going to take your threshold up, making sure that all of the edges, and like there was a little gap there, but I filled that in. And we're going to trace and detach. Trace and detach is going to search the outside edges. It doesn't take away anything in. Oh, crap. I knew that was going to happen. All right. I hate when that happens. Okay. Let's just Yeah. View changes. All righty. Give me a moment. While I'm waiting for that to clear itself so I can open it back up, I will take the opportunity to remind you guys that we do have an overstock sale going on right now on 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17, 100 cheap fast dry packs. So you can go over the website. It will automatically be applied at checkout. So let's say we go here and we click on 8.5 by 14. See, $23.65. We're going to add that to the cart. See, overstock. So you're going to save $5.91. It is $17.74. That is less than the 8.5 by 11. So if you're going to the site and you're buying 8.5 by 11, even if you're like, I don't want to waste it, you're still wasting, because 8.5 by 11, you still going to pay $20.30. But you get 8.5 by 14. You can print a little bit longer if you have to piece it together. It's less sheets that you have to use. So right now, it is $17.74 for 8.5 by 14. 11 by 17 is for less than the 8.5 by 14 retail. Only $2 more than 8.5 by 11. You can get 11 by 17 for $22.99. You're saving $7 if you go and take advantage of the overstock sale. So take advantage of that. All right. And it's only applied to the single sheets. So if you wanted a 3-pack, you just got to buy 3 of them. All right. All right. Let's open this back up. And then again, that is shop.hsink365.com. $17. You can't beat that. Nowhere will you get a quality paper for that price. And that's not the everyday price. It's got to get rid of some of it because we have some new inventory coming in. All right. Come on, Silhouette Studio. Open back up. Hopefully we can get back into it. Okay, yeah, there it is. It's opening back up. I'm going to answer this one and then get off because, again, you guys still haven't posted any questions, but this one came in my inbox, so I'm going to answer this question as soon as Silhouette opens up. All right, so there we go. We're going to paste. Select Chase Area. Place our box. Increase my threshold. And trace and detach. So right now, there are no edit points. You don't see any dots in between here. But if you wanted it to cut in between here, some people will use trace by color. That is an option. But for how I do it, once you do your trace and detach and you move all the other stuff out of the way, you're going to go back in and you're going to trace it again. And this time you're going to do a trace, not a trace and detach. You're then going to click on the trace. You have to click on the line. If you just click in the middle of it, you are reselecting the bear. So when you add the color, this is why the color of your design is changing and you don't see the image anymore because you clicked in the middle. You must click on the line if you're not sure if you're clicking on the line. So I'm going to click off. So let's say I'm like right here. I think I'm clicking on the line. Because just because your mouse is there doesn't mean it clicked on the line. That box is too big. So you want to either zoom in or just keep clicking again, and it should be a smaller box. Once you have that smaller box, do not click on any part of this design again. You're going to just come over to your color palette and you're going to fill it in with color, whether it's a color palette from here or from there, okay? And you're going to then right click and release compound path. Do not click on anything. Do not click on anything once you release, because you might deselect the parts that you actually need. You're going to hold down Shift. Don't let go of Shift and keep going back down, because then you're going to activate your sticky keys. You're going to hold down Shift, and you're going to click into those sections that create, like, everything is a shape. So that shape in between the balloon and his arm is a shape. You want to uncheck that, unselect that. So you're going to hold down Shift and click in those sections. Everything else is what you don't need. So you will hit delete on your keyboard. Then you'll see those colored pieces in those areas. You're just going to move your mouse outside of the image. You see how there's a finger there if I'm on top of the bear. But if I move my mouse over here, it turns into an arrow. Finger, arrow. If it is a finger and you're trying to drag and select these, yes, it is going to continue to move your item, right? So that's like going to seem like frustrating. I'm trying to select it. It's not working. That's because you have your mouse over an object or over an element. You can't drag and select that way. You must see an arrow. Even if an element was like right close to this, so let's say if I put this like right in here, right? If I can get to where it shows, so like see right here, I'm not going to ever get an arrow coming in through here. It's going to move the bear. But if I come out just a little bit, I now get an arrow and I can drag. See, I'll get the marching ants. It's not going to move. That's another step. What this is what I'm saying, guys. So see, luckily someone asked in my inbox, but these are the types of questions that you guys are able to ask. Why are you guys suffering alone? Why are you missing on steps and not understanding why you're missing on steps? When I'm saying, hey, I'm here. I don't care if you write a thesis to ask your question. Type it out and ask your question. So you have been suffering through this and missing a step, and you've had someone that can help you all this time. I do these for that purpose. So I am very grateful that she did ask, and I wish you'd asked on the live, but that she did ask in the inbox so that I can break this down, okay? So you're looking, like I said, you're looking for that arrow. So if you have elements that are too, like other elements that are too close, and it won't select, like, because you're like, okay, well, I'm here and it's moving the bear, just go to the other side. So we're going to come from this way. We see the arrow, drag up and select. You do not have to do the entire thing. All you have, oh, look, there's a couple little small elements there, and those can be a pain in the butt. So we're going to drag and select, deselect, and then delete that part. So we're going to drag through here, and we only want those 3 pieces that we left behind and our original image. And then you're going to go over to modify, and you're going to subtract. Okay. It's me, LaShonda. I'm on my laptop now. This was part of the print and cut I stressed on. As far as removing the white parts, again, that's not really print and cut. That's understanding how to remove the white parts. So if you guys are posting questions in my group, you can't just say, well, this print and cut didn't cut. Be very specific, guys. I am here to help. I know this program like the back of my hand. I know pretty much every issue that you may potentially have. But if you're very vague with your questions and you're not giving me detail, I won't be able to pinpoint it. I won't be able to give you the answers that you need. A lot of the groups that you're going to go in, they're going to give you generic answers. and you're going to go and try what they said, and it's not going to work. You're going to be frustrated, feeling like, I'm doing what they're saying. I don't want anyone to feel like, okay, it has to be me. I must be stupid. Like, I can't get this. Like, everyone keeps saying this, but it's not working for me. But if you're detailed and you're showing things like that, I know I can help you. I've gone in and I've been on so many posts to where somebody will post something and I'm just looking like, oh Lord, they're leading people down the wrong path. And so I'll end up putting, oh my gosh, okay, yep, that's exactly what I needed. I know this software like the back of my hand. There's not too many. If it's able to be done, I'm able to show you how to do it. I'm not a miracle worker. My name ain't Jesus, you know. If it's something that just cannot be done, it cannot be done. But if it can be, as long as you are very detailed, if you are posting a video of what you are doing, it really helps. Post that video in our group, tag me in there. So I'll see it. Or if you're posting at least pictures or screenshots, I can help. All right. So this is where I was trying to use the edit points. So basically what you were trying to do was probably, I'm going to go like this, and we're going to release compound path and then weld it. So what you tried to do was go through here, take the draw curve and do this. Now, this is something that I do very often when I need like detailed, like I need it to be detailed in how I remove a section, because this is like using the pen tool of Photoshop, and I am addicted to the pen tool in Photoshop. So if you're trying to do this, and then, this does allow you to, oh, come on now. Let me add some color, take my transparency down so I can see. This allows you to be more precise. This is a much better way of tracing. It allows you to be completely precise, especially when you have something that is not a great resolution and you're trying to cut away those like fuzzy type edges. It's great to do this. But if you're in the middle of an order, I mean, this can be very frustrating. And this is something that you learn on its own. It's, don't associate it or don't group it together with saying that this is your frustration with print and cut. That becomes your frustration with understanding edit points. Two different things, because then you will start to feel like all print and cuts are going to be this difficult, and it's not, because some print and cuts are just typing it out. Like a print and cut could be me going in and saying shop.hsink365.com. I'm going to turn my registration marks on. I'm going to make this bigger just for the heck of it. And this is ready to go. A print and cut is anything that you can do a print cut on, anything that has color. This is one, like, that's why the print and cut one that we have coming up, it's going to be doing, like, we start off, the first part of that is straight shapes, letters, and numbers, putting them on the screen and doing a print and cut. Then it will be other elements that we would do, and you'll understand like how to not cut certain parts, or different things. Like each of that program, it's again several days over the course of several weeks, and we're going to go through from foundation all the way up to some more like not too advanced, but like midline print and cuts. But this is a print and cut. It has nothing to do with edit points, nothing to do with tracing. It is typed out text. I want it to print out or cut. I want it to print in this color. I want it to want to cut around this in this particular color. This is print and cut. Okay. So now we're going to go here, and then I can select this and I can subtract. I clicked and made all the edit point. Okay. But then it's not this then, because here you will never have edit points in the middle of this. If you just did a trace and detach, you're never going to have edit points in the middle of this. So the only way to get edit points in the middle is to either manually trace it and then subtract it, or to do a traditional trace and then subtract it. So I don't know as far as like exactly what all you did. I know you got it done, but you didn't ask questions in the group when you were having issues. When you guys are having issues, take a moment, pause. You have access to the student union for a reason. Though, and like I put in there, you guys are VIPs when you're in the student union. Take one of my classes, you get to be a part of the student union. So when you're going through these issues and it's like, okay, well, if you think to yourself, man, there has to be a better way, pause for a moment, pull your phone out, record what you're doing, or take a picture of what you're doing, take a screenshot of what you're doing, post it in the group, post your question, because you probably could have saved yourself hours and hours of headaches and time had you just asked that question, and I could have directed you on what would have been a more efficient way. I'm not sure if this is still you, LaShondra. I mean, you can always post it in the group and I will address it in the group. I can't see it here, and you can't post pictures as comments in live videos, but you can always post it in the group. And you can always show like your process. So if you take your, that's another thing too, guys. How you're going to get better at something is not, okay, I did it. All right, I'm done. Do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again. So if you went through this, and you should always have the original. My students know I always tell you to make duplicates. So, if you need it for an order, all right, cool. Get that out your system, get out the way, get that order out the door. But make sure that you actually understood what you did. And it's kind of I don't know what I did, but I got it. Like, I finished it. I mean, it was hell, and I had to do X, Y, and Z. I don't know if I could ever do it again. Or you're going to come back asking the same question. Take that exact same picture. Go through the steps. Can you get it done faster? Do you understand what you're doing now? Like, that is how you are going to learn. Repetition, 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 and doing it on the same exact file. The same exact one. Practice it over and over and over again. But yes, definitely post your picture to the student union, and we can figure it out from there, and figure out like a better what's the name for you. Hey, Amy, I see that you're watching over here. You have a Mac. Only thing I can think of, if you're still watching with yours, I really think that it is not fully downloaded, because if you look at everything else, the fact that like when you go into like your files, right? I know yours is like a little bit different from, us Windows folk, but a PNG or a JPEG is going to show you're going to see the design as that thumbnail. When I looked at yours, it doesn't have like the zipper on it, but it looks like it's an arrow, just meaning that it's for a download. So it may not have fully downloaded. I would just not Silhouette Studio, but that particular file, I would recommend re-downloading that file to see if it can open. See if you have another system, if you have a Windows PC in your house, see if you download it from there, if it opens up. But when you click on it, I know Mac will basically give you a preview. That's not opening up that file. Like if you can double click on it to where it opens in a print preview, or see if you can take that file and open it up in a different program. Does it open up in Word? Does it open up in Affinity? Because I really think that it is that file is either zipped or not fully downloaded or something like that, because you don't get a thumbnail with it. Someone asks, is that how you move a background? Yeah, kind of, sort of. So we're going to go here. I mean, tracing really is the foundation of a lot of designs, a lot of things that you do in Silhouette. So this is one of the first things that I feel like anybody should design even before learning how to do text. So we're going to go like right here to about 97. Hopefully it doesn't shut it down because I got way too much stuff open. Trace and detach. And see right here, even though you see the yellow, once it traces and detaches, these parts are still going to be intact, and you have to then remove them. Now, if you're trying to fix the edges, that's different. But those parts are going to still be intact. So see, we're going to click and move. All that comes out. But right here, we saw the yellow around it, but that's not what trace and detach does. Those areas will still be there. So if you're wanting it to cut these areas, you don't have to do the whole thing again. Just focus your trace box just to cover those sections. You're going to increase your threshold and do a regular trace. Click on that trace, fill it in with color. If you're not sure, like of once you release where those pieces are, you can always turn down your transparency so that you can see the image. Hold down Shift, click, 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 click. All these other pieces are parts of their faces. We don't want to remove that. We're just going to hit delete. And then you're going to drag and select over all of those parts and then subtract. So now those goes away and you now have cut lines in the middle. Yes, you are. It's the same group that you've been in when you like from years ago. The It's a Silaholics thing. All right. So thank you guys so very much for joining me live. I will see you guys next week on Wednesday. Don't forget to visit the website, shop.hsink365.com. We do have a sale, an overstock sale going on 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17. And Formula B for EcoTank printers. Be on the lookout. I'm actually going to have a class at the end of the month, so be on the lookout for that, because I'll be live to talk about that particular class tomorrow and Friday. But we do have a class that will be this month, and then starting in February we have a full lineup. We have first cuts, just like with Silhouette Studio. I mean, just opening up. Actually, no, I think what I said I'm going to end doing was the out of the box was this month. And then like next month is like your first cuts for vinyl. There's one for paper crafting. There's one for printing cuts. So that is over the course of several weeks, you will learn from beginning to end about cutting vinyl, layering vinyl, paper crafting, print cuts. They're technically all different programs, but there will be an option for you to enroll in all three if you desire to. Or if you're someone, hey, I'm not doing paper crafting, I don't need to know that. You just want the vinyl, want the print cut. Hey, you can sign up for those. All right. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.